Today on NewsWatch, global stock markets plunge this week. See why some experts fear 2016 won't be a good year for Wall Street. Plus, we'll break down which countries are on this year's Open Doors watch list. See the places where it's most dangerous to be a Christian. And in this week's Studio 5, I sit down with American hero who stepped up to defend hundreds of Americans during a 2012 terror attack. Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. New worries about the stock markets today. Traders are beginning to wonder if 2016 will be a bad year for stocks after another terrible Wednesday on Wall Street. Dale Hurd has this story.
Global stock markets sank almost across the board today as pessimism continued over falling oil prices and another dive on Wall Street, despite some data showing economies are on the mend. The dismal start to 2016 on Wall Street got a lot worse Wednesday when the Dow closed down more than 364 points. There's a saying in the market that data cannot overcome sentiment, and even some good economic numbers can't seem to overcome the fact investors have a bad feeling about this economy. Oil prices at 12-year lows, great news for drivers, but not for the U.S. oil industry, and a volatile start to 2016 in China's stock and currency markets have unleashed a wave of negativity among investors. Some analysts say a correction in stock prices is inevitable after years of gains with few serious pullbacks. January is usually a reliable indicator of how the year goes. If the market falls in January, that's a sign it could well be down for the year. And halfway through January, it looks like we could see a down market in 2016. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Republican presidential candidates take the debate stage tonight, less than 3 weeks before the first voting takes place. This South Carolina debate could be a crucial moment for any candidate who stands out in the crowd. CBN's David Brody is in Charleston now with more.
Down here in the South, where grits, God, and guns reign supreme, candidate Ted Cruz was serving up a perfect tone.
If we defend the Judeo-Christian values that built America, if we come together as we the people, then we will bring back, we will restore that last best hope for mankind, that shining city on a hill that is the United States of America.
Cruz brings momentum into this debate. He has a slim lead in Iowa and hopes his performance here will add to his political mojo. His political nemesis, Donald Trump, remains the clear leader in national polls, and he's been working crowds to provide Southern comfort as well.
We're going to win so much, you're going to beg me. You're going to say, Mr. President, we're so tired of winning, we can't take it anymore. Please don't win anymore. Mr. President, please have 1 or 2 losses. And I'll say, no, I won't do that. I won't do that because we are going to make America so great again.
While Trump and Cruz received the majority of the headlines, you can expect Marco Rubio, Chris Christie, and Jeb Bush to also conduct some verbal combat tonight as well. That's because they all want to sound as anti-establishment as possible, hoping to be in that final mix when all is said and done. While Rubio doesn't have to necessarily win an early state like Iowa or New Hampshire, he does need a strong showing. He came to South Carolina a day early to reach voters here, since the Palmetto State is another early primary battle.
I'm asking you for your vote and your support. I need you not just to vote for me, but find other people to vote for me. This is an important election. The stakes could not be higher.
The main stage will be more cozy because low poll numbers have bumped Carly Fiorina and Rand Paul off of it. Fiorina will appear on the undercard debate, while Senator Paul plans to skip the debate entirely. David Brody, CBN News, in Charleston, South Carolina.
And for more on the candidates and what really needs to be done to fix America's economy, CBN News spoke with billionaire Steve Forbes about his new book, Reviving America.
Well, looking at the candidates, I almost feel like it's a dating game, finding virtues in each of the candidates. Ted Cruz, for example, gets it on the Federal Reserve and the need for a gold standard, as does Senator Rand Paul. Ben Carson's got a very interesting flat tax proposal, as does Cruz, Rand Paul, and some of the others. So they're coming our way, but the purpose of the book is to put pressure, give people the information they need to get candidates not only for president, but also for Congress and the Senate to do what's right. The big three reforms: repealing Obamacare and replace it with patient care, get rid of the IRS and have a genuine flat tax, and get the Federal Reserve to stop mucking around with the dollar so it can be stable and strong again. These three things, there are obviously a lot of other things we have to do, but these big three things, big three reforms, would rapidly revive America. This country's very strong. We've been through a very rough period, but I think with these kind of reforms, people will be surprised, pleasantly surprised, at how quickly America recovers.
Now, you can hear much more of Steve Forbes' ideas to fix America, including his explanation of the flat tax. We've got it all for you at CBNNews.com. At least 7 people are dead after a series of coordinated terrorist attacks in Indonesia. Attackers set off explosions at a Starbucks in a bustling shopping area in Jakarta and then engaged in gun battles with police for more than 2 hours Thursday. A local station reported at least 2 more explosions in other parts of the capital. Police said 4 of the attackers and 3 others were killed. The attacks came after several warnings in recent weeks by police that Islamic militants were planning something big. New concerns about the escalating tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia. An unknown group in Iran posted an animated film on the internet simulating a missile attack on Saudi Arabia, including an attack on their main oil fields. As Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, while it's unclear who made the video, it highlights the growing animosity between these two Middle East giants.
The animated video simulates an Iranian rocket attack using missiles fired from Yemen. The attack is designed to cripple Saudi Arabia on multiple fronts. The video states that it's a response to the hallucinations and empty threats of the Saud clan, and that the arm of vengeance of the Islamic world will emerge from the sleeve of the Yemenis. The video reveals the GPS coordinates of Saudi Arabia's main oil facility at the Gower field, then shows the missiles destroying the Saudi Aramco facility and setting the area on fire. It also simulates attacks on Saudi Arabia's capital, Riyadh, that it calls the Freemason Tower. Then it shows missiles striking the Saudis' main airbase and crippling its anti-missile system. The rivalry between Sunni Saudi Arabia and Shiite Iran intensified when the Saudis executed a top Shiite cleric. Iran followed by allowing protesters to ransack the Saudi Arabian embassy in Tehran, prompting Saudi Arabia to cut diplomatic relations. Pakistan then weighed in on the side of the Saudis, saying they would wipe Iran off the map if Iran threatened the territorial integrity of Saudi Arabia. The concern for many in the region is that the rivalry between the two Middle East titans will escalate from a video to a direct confrontation on the battlefield. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
A French judge has charged a teenager with terrorism after he attacked a Jewish teacher with a machete. The 15-year-old Turkish Kurd hacked at the teacher who was walking on the streets of Marseille. He told police after his arrest that he acted in the name of the Islamic State. A Jewish leader in France is now advising fellow Jews to stop wearing their religious head covering as anti-Semitic attacks there are escalating. Overall, terrorism has been on the rise in France. A man who had been living in a German asylum shelter attacked a police station in Paris last week. That came as Paris is still reeling from the ISIS attack in November that killed 130 people. Indiana's governor is taking a stand for religious freedom in the ongoing debate over civil rights protections for homosexuals. In his State of the State speech, Governor Mike Pence said no one should be mistreated because of who they love or what they believe, but he also said no one should ever fear persecution because of their deeply held religious beliefs. Pence faced a storm of protest in March for religious objections legislations that prohibits other state laws that substantially burden a person's ability to follow his or her religious beliefs. And still to come, Christian persecution worse than ever around the world. Hear the new report on the persecution hotspots. The 2016 World Watch list of Christian persecution has been released, declaring North Korea as the most dangerous country for Christian persecution in the world, with Iraq and Eritrea not far behind. Abigail Robertson gives us more details on that full list.
Global conflicts and terror movements made 2015 the worst year for religious persecution in modern history. Open Doors named the 50 most dangerous countries in the world for Christians, gathering information from people on the ground.
In the 5 areas that we measure, violence against Christians, discrimination, pressure, all of these different things, it's just more difficult in every continent, in every country.
In 2015, global Christian persecution substantially increased. For the 14th year in a row, North Korea remains the top most dangerous country in the world for Christians, with the other 9 out of 10 countries topping this list being controlled by some form of Islamic extremist government. And that extremism is expanding, becoming the lead generator of persecution for 35 of the 50 countries.
We need to identify that not every Muslim is an extremist, but we still have to know that the Muslim community needs to speak to extremism within its community because it is greatly affecting violence against Christians.
Gladys, a Kenyan Christian, became involved with Open Doors after the terror group Al-Shabaab mutilated her husband with a machete for being a pastor. She moved quickly to forgive them as the first part of her mourning process.
The journey of forgiveness started immediately. Once you forgive, it's like you release yourself. You open up to God to work to you, in you.
Gladys says while the situation is getting worse, she believes non-extremist Muslims are beginning to stand with Christians to help protect religious liberties in Kenya. Open Doors is asking President Obama to make this issue a priority in his final year in office. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Up next, what really happened in Benghazi? Go behind the scenes of the new film about this terrible terrorist attack. When terrorists attacked the American diplomatic compound in Benghazi on September 11, 2012, 6 members of the security team for the CIA stepped up to defend hundreds of Americans. They shared their courageous story in a book, and it is now a movie called 13 Hours, hitting theaters tomorrow. In today's Studio 5, we sit down with one of those brave men, Chris Tanto Paranto. But first, here's a preview of the film.
Libyan visa. Official.
Pull over for inspection.
Sorry, sir, I can't do that.
Pull over for inspection.
How willing are you to die for your country? I'm ready to go right here, right now.
The book, and now the film, 13 Hours, is an inside account of what unfolded within 13 unforgettable hours in Benghazi, Libya on September 11, 2012. Islamic militants attacked the American diplomatic compound and a nearby CIA annex. Many people are going to see the teasers to this film or see the film, and they're all going to begin with this very same question, the one I walked out with. How true to life is what we saw on screen?
Very, very true to life. Give my specific example, my feeling when I watched the movie and I walked out, I remember feeling like I had a hole in me, like I was missing something. And when I went to the bathroom and, I got emotional because I was going back, remembering vividly a lot of those things that happened. And when Michael Bay did the mortar attack, when you do it from the visual of the mortar, that was, wow. I was like, whoa, that, and I'm transported back into that. When I watched my friends, basically, I thought they just all vaporized. But I walked out and I splashed water in my face, and I realized that I had gone back to Benghazi. Didn't even realize I was there. And a lot of the other, I deployed for 9 years before Benghazi. And a lot of those things, crisis situations or those stress came back as well. And what I realized was that hole is that I missed that so much that when it was over, it was like I was back there reliving that part of my life, which I love and enjoy, and when the movie was over, it just got ripped from me. I would say very, very realistic. And honestly, the battle scenes, you could have even done more. That's what happens. There's explosions, there's bodies flying, and you can't. The only thing in a movie I wish you could recreate a little bit better is the sound of a bullet whizzing by your head. It doesn't whiz, it snaps because it breaks the sound barrier. So you're crack, 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 crack. And that's hard to do in a movie. So I'll be honest with you, I think you could even added more to the comedy. So I'm glad that you felt that way, because that's what we want. We want you to feel what we're feeling in those situations.
Now, you said that it made you miss it, and
Yes,
many people are going to hear
yes.
that and go,
I know, and maybe I'm a little off in that.
no, I don't mean.
I think, no, I do miss it. I miss, but I've said this before, I am my best person when I'm overseas. I feel, nobody's godlike. There's nobody that's infallible. Nobody. I mean, that's not it. But I feel like I'm the closest to what he wants me to be when I'm overseas. And that's one of the reasons why I do miss it. I'm my best person when I'm over in those areas. And there's a lot of truth. And the atheist may tell you there's not, but I'm telling you right now, there's no atheist in a foxhole. There is none. When those bullets are flying, that faith in God comes out. And you do feel them. I feel them a lot over there. When you come back to the station, I feel safe here, because we're in the U.S. is the greatest country in the world. So, you kind of forget that God's out there, because you don't have to worry about a car bomb going off. Nowadays, you kind of have to worry about shootouts and stuff, a little bit more, but nothing like over there. So when you're overseas, you do put your faith in him a lot more, and you realize he's there, because every day you step out that door, you could go down. And that's one of the reasons why I do miss it. And another reason why I miss it is, of course, I miss the adrenaline. And I miss the brotherhood. I miss the guys, and the tightness of you just can't get that anywhere else.
Chris Tanto Peranto is one of the former CIA security contractors who lived through the experience. He's one of 6 men who defied orders to stand down and instead rushed to defend those under attack.
You have a U.S. ambassador at risk.
The ambassador is in his safe haven. You're not the first responders. You're the last resort. You will wait.
None of you have to go. But we are the only help they have.
Watching that unfold, I watch it and think there's no way you can deny God just by the bond.
Yes, yeah.
We see.
Oh, that's perfect. That's what we were trying to get through, and I'm glad Michael, because he knew that, because he talking to me and talking to the other guys. So, God's not a politically correct subject. It's not, people don't get comfortable talking about nowadays, but he still got it in the movie. And he got the scene where I said that up on the roof, where Pablo says, as long as I'm doing the right thing, God will take care of me. I said that, and he got it in the movie. So I'm very proud that even though you can't make 13 hours into a Christian movie, which it could be, really could be very easy, but you still got the tone in there.
We are overrun.
State's under attack. Let's go, man. State's under attack. Let's go. We gotta move.
If you do not get here soon, we are all gonna die.
We hear the calls, people calling for help.
That's hard.
That broke my heart.
It was breaking mine.
As an American. Did you feel abandoned out there?
When it was all done, I guess during the time frame, no, because you got to keep that mindset. We're going to get out of here. These obstacles are coming in front of us. Stay strong, never quit, and then I'll worry about that when it's all done. After I got back, I got asked that question on a news show. Do you feel like you were left behind, like your U.S. government left you behind? And it hurt me, because I said it, and this is what I said. I said, I paused 15 seconds. He goes, "Are you there?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I can't answer. I can't say no. That was where it really hurt me.
a real-life American hero. That movie premieres tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And the time has come now for your Thursday Thankful. And today, my prayer of gratitude is this. Father, I am thankful that you are an in spite of God and not a because of God. You love me in spite of my faults and not because of anything I did or didn't do. In short, you are an amazing God, and your grace and your mercy are new every morning. They're also free, and that's good news because I could not afford either. With that word, make this a very thankful Thursday. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a thankful Thursday. We will see you right back here come tomorrow.